How will you stay connected and accountable to Palestinians? This is actually, I think, a really, really crucial thing, because this movement, ultimately, any divestment movement is fitted into the larger BDS movement. And this BDS movement comes from the 2005 call from Palestinian civil society. And they are our leadership. They are the people who have laid down the parameters that we follow. And whenever we have like some sort of friction in terms of what we should do, where we should go in the next step, we go back to that call and we say, okay, if it's consistent within the principles that are laid down in the 2005 BDS call, that's what we should be doing. Like, that's our call, because that's the BDS call is in many ways our core pillar of accountability. And if you're not yet connected to a Palestine Solidarity organization, it seems like most of us are, but if you're not, like, what steps might you take to start one? As opposed to like even. So, I mean, it can be two people. I don't know if Seuss wants to like talk for like 1 minute on like how MNBBC started, but it started with like you and Flo taking a drive from the airport, if I'm not wrong, right?
No, not me.
No, Flo and
someone else. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it can be two people. Like, it can be you and your friend. If you guys are interested in doing something, it can happen, and like so.
Yeah. So the story goes that. One of our main core members, Flo Rosowski, was driving with another Palestine Solidarity friend, an organizer. They were dropping off a speaker at the airport, and this was shortly after the call had come out from Palestine. I think it was in 2006, late 2006 maybe. And they were talking about what we might do in Minnesota, what kind of a target we might have. And so they started brainstorming, and then they just started doing some research, and they came up with Israel bonds as a target because for the reasons that Shri mentioned earlier, and because it seemed Minnesota has already divested from they divested from South Africa. It was almost too late, but they did divest, and then they divested from Sudan and Iran for human rights violations reasons, and so they were thinking that this is a campaign that could kind of follow on the heels of those other campaigns strategically. That even though we may not agree with the reasons that the state divested from some of those other campaigns, we can use that to our advantage. And so that's how the campaign was birthed, and then it was brought to the organization that Elizabeth mentioned earlier, the Coalition for Palestinian Rights, and they took it on, and it took a while to get them going because, like Elizabeth said, they're mostly focused on education and didn't have a lot of strategic organizing background or anything like that. And so after that, we got this other group together that Shri was talking about, a small group, primarily because I took on meeting with people one-on-one and getting that group started. So Flo was actually out of the country at that time and came back when we had the campaign up and running.